So when we start to draw the mandibular arch, again the same story. We're going to draw a straight line, a vertical line, so that we have a reference for the midline, and then we are going to draw an arch. Now the difference is that the maxillary arch is much more larger. So when we are drawing the mandibular molar, again the same story, we draw a vertical line. Now the difference is that the maxillary arch is much more larger, the mandibular arch is much more smaller. So even the sides are going to be a little bit more curved in. So as usual, we are going to draw a small curve. This time the curve is going to be more smaller. Don't draw a very large curve like that. Do not draw a curve like this because it's a mandibular arch. So keep it short. So if I were to zoom it in and show it to you, this is how it's going to look. Right, so you can see all the three teeth, almost same length. The lateral incisor is not much smaller than the canine, so almost same length. Okay. From here, obviously, we are going to have to draw our posterior portion, which is going to be in line with this mandibular canine. So that's going to be somewhat the angle, and for this, to fix this, we are going to just use this outline and going to draw the premolar. Now the premolar for the mandibular premolar is going to be more or less rounded. So you need to have a more rounded tooth. So it's going to be a square rounded tooth, slightly larger than the canine, slightly. So you give it a more rounded approach, right? Slight like that, very slight rounded approach, not like the maxillary canine where it is sharp, and bring this one all the way this side like that. So it's a more rounded tooth, and in this, obviously, you know, the mandibular premolar is having a larger buccal cusp and a very, especially the first premolar, and a very small, if at all, a small lingual cusp. So you can just draw a small cusp there, or you can just leave it like that. Okay, this should be the main prominent one, and of course you can keep it all light so it doesn't look too much dark. Okay, when you draw your second molar has got more definition to it. Okay, so you're going to give it a little bit more straighter angles and go in for a rounded bottom, something like your maxillaries. Now here, of course, you have a small difference, that this is going to have a definite groove, and it's going to have a mandibular, don't let the lines touch, definite groove, and you probably have a small groove like that. So that could be how your second molar looks. First molar, of course, is going to be much less defined. So I'm just fixing my first molar. I don't want it to look larger than my second molar. Remember that the second molar is bigger in the mandible than your first molar. So the first molar needs to be smaller, right? And don't let the occlusal lines touch the margin. So you just keep it like that. Okay. And maybe give it a small cusp like that. So that should be enough for the mandibular first molar. This will be the second molar, and then finally we come to the mandibular molars. We spoke about the first, the two central incisors, canine, the first premolar, and the second premolar. We're going to go into the first molar at this point. So when you talk about the first molar, what you need to remember is that, so when it comes to drawing the molar, it's easy again. We are going to draw an outline, and the outline needs to be in line with this posterior that you're drawing. So here, remember that's a slightly longer tooth, more rectangular. So, and the outer edge needs to look a little bulky. Okay, not an S curve like the maxilla, but like this. And it's not in the center, slightly off the center to this side. Okay, so slightly bulky like that. And this one straight down. And here, of course, two cusps, so you need to have that shape that is there. Like that. Okay. So here you're going to draw two marginal ridges. I'm going to connect them. Obviously here is going to be one cusp, here is going to be another cusp, and that should be reasonably, a little bit, maybe fix this a little. Yeah. Yeah, it should be reasonably how a molar will look, and you're going to go for the second molar also the same. You're going to have a large, a little bit of a bump there, and coming in here, smaller than the first molar. Make sure it's smaller than the first molar. Yeah, I'm going to have this, right? And here again, two marginal ridges, then one cusp, and you have the two cusps and the. So this is an easy way to draw all the mandibular posteriorities. So you have two anterior central incisors, one canine, first premolar, second premolar, and three cusps. Now they don't have to be so dark. You can keep the occlusal aspect, especially, you can keep it light. I just do it dark so you can see what I'm drawing. Outline needs to be dark so that you can identify between your components and your tooth as such. Okay, so keep the outline dark. I hope you all had a great exam. I hope you understood what I'm drawing. I hope this is clear for you, right? So I hope that this will be useful for you. So this is the same way to draw the mandibular posteriors, anteriors. So you can draw the same thing on the other side. See you soon. All the best for your exams. I hope you all did well. God bless you. Bye-bye.